You guys have got to take a look at what one of the largest banks in the world has just said. HSBC, one of the largest banks in the world, warns that a US recession is coming this year. And if it was just them saying that, I wouldn't have brought it up into a video like this. No, it's because, funny enough, right now, at the same time, HSBC Hong Kong offers Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs to clients. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. One of the things that's been really prominent in the news or in the major economy is, well, are people going to be taking the money out of these risk-on assets like a Bitcoin, like an Ethereum, like an XRP, and putting it into safer places because of recession fears? But then we see a major bank like HSBC state things are about to hit the fan. Anyway, guys, here's how you can go and get yourself some crypto. It is extremely funny. And guys, before we move on with this video, make sure you press that like button. Let's try and get to at least 500 likes. That would be amazing. And let's move on. I think that a lot of people are underestimating just how much money has entered the crypto space or is basically preparing to enter the crypto space right now as we speak. Meltem actually posted this. Last week's BlackRock spot ETF filing was very big news, but it's not the only story. Many of the largest financial institutions in the US are actively working to provide access to Bitcoin and more. A quick glance, $27 trillion of client assets here at BlackRock, Fidelity, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, BNY Mellon, Invesco, Bank of America, and you can also see what partners they're working with and what they're actually trying to do. For example, JP Morgan utilize a JPM coin, Morgan Stanley given access to 3 Bitcoin funds, Goldman Sachs OTC crypto trading, BNY Mellon hold transfer of Bitcoin and Ether, and you can see they're using different parties, BlackRock using Coinbase, and all these others using some different parties, but the idea is quite clear. It's just that so much money is entering this space right now. And so even though on some fronts they're making you fearful, right? I'd say the only fear you should be having is money moving towards the east because of the laws, because of the regulations, but not actually because the US funds are not ready or because the US investors are not ready. It's just that they don't really allow for the proper climate. But you can see they're trying to get that money. You know, they know they shouldn't leave this technology, but the SEC seems to think otherwise. And I think one of the main reasons they're doing that is because of all their shame with FTX. Even though no country in the world really cares about FTX and the repercussions and the whole situation being on US soil, because it wasn't for the most part. Right now, the bankrupt FTX says they've actually recovered $7 billion in liquid assets, which is pretty significant. And even Brian Armstrong had something to say about it. He said, the US is squandering an early lead, in part because SBF, that's funny that he says that too, embarrassed some politicians and regulators who now want to look tough on crypto. Pretty much everyone else has moved on though, and FTX is not really discussed in the UK, UAE, etc. The way to solve it, just get sensible regulations in place so consumers are protected and these issues will stop happening. It's a response to Chris Giancarlo, who said, greetings from Tokyo, where headlines in Japan Times says exactly what I'm hearing across the APEC regarding the U.S. official policy on crypto. It says, crypto tumult in U.S. may be a boon for Japan. Now, while we're speaking though, Bitcoin is actually on a really positive tangent. We actually just had a slight little breakout. I can't even call this slight anymore. We just got ourselves a pretty juicy breakout for Bitcoin. And over the last, I guess, 30 minutes or so, or 50 minutes actually already, it's just been fighting to hold that confirmation. Again, right now what we're going to be seeing most likely in 10 minutes from now is actually a confirming candle, confirming that the breakout is pulling through. And then it'll be more of a question of where will this end. Right now, again, we're in very important territory that we've hit a lot over the past couple of days. You can see we had one major spike there. We had a lot of different touches throughout the last couple of days. And right now we're back in the zone with, again, a lot of momentum, a lot of movement. Even though percentage-wise is not that great, it's very interesting to watch this. And in a similar field, guys, we already said, in terms of a weekly close, we've not seen these levels in 406 days. 58 weeks, right? It's just absolutely massive. And like I said before, even though many people have turned negative, oh, the money's moving to the east, all this, that, we're still continuing towards the upside. I think for the most part because the major money is just entering our space. And every single time we get back to these dippy levels over the last couple of days, it just gets bought back up every single time. Why? Well, are you realizing what I just said at the start? HSBC just literally said, hey, allow customers to buy and sell Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Let them buy this crypto stuff. Let them transact in it. It's not a small feat, guys. That's not a small thing at all. It's the largest freaking bank in Hong Kong. Can you understand just how huge that is? Hong Kong wants to take over in the crypto space. It's not a joke. And so even though you're not really seeing it back percentage-wise, just know that so many major players right now are preparing to allow for all this trading crypto. And right now, we're at the start of it all still. We're right now at the brink of the adoption that's about to start. And I still think that soon enough, there will also be things like Apple joining the game, right? And I think that those type of levels are going to be where things really pop off. Apple boots out Jack Dorsey-backed Damus from the App Store over Bitcoin tipping feature. That's right now. And then probably we're going to look back at this in 3 years and say, this was Apple stands before, kicking Bitcoin apps out. And then this is Apple now, which will be that Apple announced for an official crypto wallet feature or something like that in their newest iPhone 17s or whatever, and iPhone 19s, you pick it, maybe their iPhone 20s or so. So I think we're going to eventually see a headline of just Apple's new iPhones will have some sort of crypto wallet. And that's going to be the moment where people are not early to crypto anymore. Right now, it's still I'd say it's getting harder and harder to say, hey, you're an early crypto adopter because all these major banks, right? The biggest bank in Hong Kong is basically saying, hey, we're adopting it too. We're standing behind this. We think this is a smart idea, allowing the facilitation of trade basically in these assets. So the more that this goes on, the more parties that join, the harder it's going to be to say, no, I'm still early to all this. And CZ from Binance also said Hong Kong is moving forward. Hong Kong rating agency HKVAC announced its virtual asset index in addition to Bitcoin Ether stablecoins, including RAB Bitcoin, BTCB, SDETH, Bitcoin Cash, and a lot of others. Now, some of our favorite cryptos might not be in there, but XRP is in there, Doge is in there, Polkadot is in there, TRX is in there, Lido is in there, HBAR, VET, QNT. A lot of my favorite cryptos are actually in there too. And so it really seems that Hong Kong wants to take over freaking crypto. It's wild. Oh yeah, another thing, by the way. Circle sets sights on Hong Kong, seeing an enormous demand for digital dollars over there as well. Guys, it's massive. I know, I'm like the Hong Kong bull here or something, right? But it is just showing you that some countries out there are like, SEC, big middle finger to you. We don't care about what you're doing. We don't care about what you say about these cryptos. We're adapting it. We're making money on it, and that's where the U.S. is lacking. I'm not sure if that cut off. And on a little side tangent, I will say this, guys. Make sure you join the Discord. I'll leave a link for that down below. It's basically a place where I hope that a lot of you guys from the Dusty BC Army, let's call it, can come together, hopefully get some cool new plans, hopefully get some cool new insights, hopefully share your trading analysis, everything like that, just with one another, because I think everybody just needs a little place to hopefully be able to get some extra tips or so, because where else are you going to go? To the YouTube comment section? Not that amazing of a place. To Twitter? People are toxic on Twitter, you know that? And it's pretty hard to get an answer from people on Twitter if you have no followers, if you have no following. If you're in a group, like for example Discord, many people usually help each other. That's what I like. That's also what I like to facilitate. So that's why I'm saying join the Discord, become a little bit more of an army, and hopefully you guys can make more money together, right? Or I guess hopefully we all. And also, I've said this many times before, but if you've not got the notification bell on, you're very much missing out. Because what if something crazy happens tomorrow? You want to be notified, right? At least, I hope you would. You can always decide to skip watching the video. You don't have to, but at least make sure that the moment that something crazy happens, you get yourself a notification. I think it's very important, but yeah, that's about it. See ya.